All right, we got this all mocked up, got it clamped on, got 3 screws. We'll just fill those holes, weld them in when we're done. But this is going to be our final cut. It's crunch time. Hopefully it works out all right. Generally it does. The only problem I'm seeing is I only have 2 discs left. So I'm hoping I can get this done with 2 discs because I really don't want to use that metal cutting discs again. It just makes too much heat. But I do have help today, which is a good thing. Boo Boo's helping us. So that's going to be our cut. So we're going to cut that, and it doesn't have to be perfectly square or round or anything because you're cutting through both pieces of metal. So that's the whole thing. And then I can put it up in there, and then I might have to grind a little here and there, and then everything will get butt welded in. So once we get it cut, we'll show you how ugly it is. And it gets ugly before it gets better, that's for sure. So there's our pile of rusty pieces and panels. So all right, well, we're gonna mask up and put our glasses on and our ear protection and everything, and we are gonna cut this. So we got things tacked in here. What I did was I ran a bead of urethane all in here in the wheel well down in there. That's what's clamped. So once that hardens, that'll create a good watertight seal, plus urethane hardens up. It's just tacked in right now. Still got to work it, got to hammer and dolly it, got to finish welding it, but at least it's tacked in and we got to start. I was like an 1/8 inch, 3/16 short there, so I put a little baby piece in. That was my fault because I didn't allow for the width of the grinding disc. But it happens. I mean, it's one of those things. So we got everything clamped in, everything tacked in. So what we'll do at some point is just start working it with a hammer and dolly, try to get it straight. We did bang this out and welded it in. It's kind of high now. It's got to be tapped in. That's got to be hammered and dollied. So stuff definitely takes time. Anybody that's done this kind of work knows that it's time consuming, but it is what it is. So, but all in all, it looks pretty good. It's not too warped, and that's the big thing that's why you just tack weld. And like I said, I butt weld, and then I'll grind everything smooth. We'll do body filler over it, and then same on the inside. I will grind it as smooth as I can and actually fill it on it. So this way, when you look on the inside, it doesn't look like it's some kind of hoopty patch panel. So all right, just a quick update, and we'll pick you up once we get everything all tacked in and hammer dollied out. We'll show you before we add body filler. We're still a ways off of that though. All right, so all the welding's done. We got everything welded in good. We did put a coat of it's like a glass. It's like a fiberglass coating. It is like body filler, but it has fibers in it. What I usually do is put that first over before I actually do the body filler. So we got everything in, all welded in. That's in. It's just sanded down. Patch is done. We still got work to do on this. I got it banged out, but it's kind of high, and then when you push it in, it's low, so I gotta keep working it. Stuff takes a lot of time, but so also on the inside, I always finish the inside of the panel also, because when you open the trunk, I don't want you to see like it's throw together. So we're getting there. We're probably not going to do body filler on here yet. Going to probably work on the rest of the metal work and try to get all that done, and then possibly have a friend that's a body guy that's going to come and help us do the filler, hopefully. Keep our fingers crossed on that, because that would really help me out. It does take a lot of time, and he's good with, making things look straight, and I can do it. I just don't have the patience, and he knows little shortcuts. He's been doing it for 35, 40 years probably. So, all right. So next step is we're going to finish sanding on the inside of the trunk here and get that seam down in here. We're going to put a, what I usually do is I put a seam sealer down on the inside. So that helps lock everything together. Plus it keeps more stuff out. I got a little tiny bit of rust right there that I'm going to address. And then everything else back in here still needs to have the polyurethane seam sealer done. So we'll probably mess with this the rest of today. And then I'm going to have to pull this door off. If you can see, the door pins are shot and I do have some rust there. So we did get our kill mat, so we're ready to go. Put the kill mat on the inside. I got urethane body bushings, got them off a marketplace. So we will, at some point, don't know when, we're going to pull the body off the frame and try to, I don't know when or how, or we'll figure that out. Got a lot of suspension work to do also. Well, that's not supposed to do that. So I am going to pull this front fender off, pull this door off, and this appears to be decent, but I notice there's a couple little cracks, so I want to make sure it's not too much body filler. And then everything else looks pretty decent on the fender. I think hopefully we can just do a guide coat and sand it and see what happens. But see what happens and get working here. So we just got real involved, which I kind of was thinking about doing this, but we're getting involved. So we pulled the front fender off. I really wanted to see what that patch was on the bottom. I noticed, which I knew there was a little bit of rot here, but as you can see, nothing's holding the radiator support. So we're gonna have to build a patch for that. Redo the bolt, which we need to do body mounts anyway, but a little more project. And pulled the front fender off, and that's what came out of the fender. Old insulation, and you can see the bottom of the cowling is rotted, which is very common on an A body. The last one I did was like this, and I just fabricated. They make a patch panel, but it's pretty easy to fabricate a piece. It's totally hidden. You'll never see it. So we'll have to do a little bit of fabricating here, put some metal in, and usually what I do is I actually do the body work too. I usually do that fiberglass hair in there. A couple of the nuts spun on that, which is common. The biggest reason I pulled that fender off is to check the bottom of that. I wanted to see how it was patched, and I have to replace the door pins. I think I have a set of hinges actually, so I might just put a good set of hinges on. But anyway, I just wanted to show you somebody's repair, which I guess it's better than just doing Bondo or something, but this is the repair. So the bracket is common, it rots out. What they did was they tacked in a piece of metal, cut the slots, and threw it back in. So we are going to change that. I don't know how involved we're going to get, but we are going to get involved. I'm not real crazy about that patch. Of course, we don't know how long it's been on there. Obviously, it's held up pretty well, but we're going to do something a little better than that. And you can see where they filled where it said Cutlass S on it, they filled the holes. They just did it with body filler. Usually if I do that, I weld the holes in because I think it holds better. So, like I said, it just got more interesting, and that's typical with an older restoration that you're doing. I'm kind of planning on keeping this car. I like it. It's got a lot of potential. It's actually very solid for what it is. Excuse me. So I think we're going to try to... I actually have patch panel for the bottom of this fender. I actually have it in stock from another project, of course. So I'll probably use that, see what the other side is once we get that done, do these hinge pins, and obviously we'll have to fix that cowl. and do something with the radiator support. So, like I said, it got a little more interesting than I thought, but I kind of knew it. You know, I was in denial. You know, I shouldn't be after doing, this is the 12th or 13th one I've had. So, and I think I've done 4 or 5 resto paint jobs on ones that I've had. So, like I said, I know the cars. I should know what I'm up against. I was just hoping, but is what it is, and it'll take a little longer, but we'll get it done. And then, like I said, we still have to do lots of body work, lots of body filler. So, all right, just wanted to show you. We pulled the lock out of the trunk. I straightened that lock area up. I am going to make a patch panel for this. That's going to be pretty interesting. I could probably, I know I could buy an aftermarket trunk, but they're horrible from what I understand. So I think I'll be better off just making a patch. It's not totally rotted out on the inside. The inside's very solid, which is pretty good. And the inside of the trunk here, they always rot there too, which is solid. And that's what I was impressed with when I looked at the car. Oh, no, you're not going to shut on me. Okay. All right. Okay, there we go. So, like I said, you know, when I looked at the car originally, I kind of knew what I was looking for. And, you know, the major things I saw that were decent. And that's part of the reason I bought it for. So, all right, we will get to it and we will show you on the way.